We live in a world where people think that racism is no longer an issue and that white privilege simply doesn't exist. However, that's not true. I've always known about white privilege, and as a white woman have always known that I had it. I've also always grown up knowing about racism. We learn in public school about racism, but we don't really learn about how it's still an issue today. This course has piqued my interest in the idea of privilege and racism because it amazes me that people don't think it's an issue. White privilege and racism go hand in hand. One of the first things we looked at in this course is the White Privilege Checklist by Peggy McIntosh. McIntosh is a woman of many traits. She's a feminist, anti-racial activist, and a scholar. This is a list of things that most white people simply don't have to worry about. Included on the list is the ever so popular, if the cop pulls me over, I can be sure I haven't been singled out because of my race. And I can easily buy posters, postcards, picture books, greeting cards, dolls, toys, children's magazines featuring people of my race. This list is a few pages long and includes things that I've never even thought about before. McIntosh made me realize that I use my privilege every day without realizing it. For example, I can choose blemish color or bandages in flesh color and have them more or less match my skin. I never really realized that Band-Aids don't come in other skin colors, which is so messed up. It can't be that hard to make other colored Band-Aids, but that's white privilege coming through. As far as racism goes, we've seen a lot of examples throughout this course this semester. One of the ones that has stuck with me was the doll experiment. This is where a group of children are given the choice between a white doll and an African American doll. Each doll is the same except the skin color. The children are asked questions like which doll looks nicer, and almost every child will pick the white doll. That is another form of privilege. As white citizens, we teach everyone that white is almost better. It's not taught by speaking of, for the most part, but taught by observing. Children of all races grow up thinking that the white doll is simply better because it's white. Another example of privilege we saw in the Angry Eye experiment conducted by Jane Elliott. Elliott discriminates a group of people by eye color. People with brown eyes are asked to be rude towards the blue-eyed participants. The blue-eyed people are put in the middle of the room. Elliott and the brown-eyed participants are rude to them. The moral of the story here is that most of the people with blue eyes were white and have never been discriminated like that before. One girl walks out crying because it upset her so much. This is what's wrong with society. The students with brown eyes talk about how they have been discriminated, and they have to just deal with it, while the students with blue eyes can just walk out and it goes away. All three of these make me see the world differently. The world isn't all bubblegum and rainbows. I mean, our president is a TV reality star who's also sexist and racist. I think this course taught me not only more about the world, but about myself. There are so many people in this world that are just too naive to see what's actually going on.